Hello guys, welcome back to another brand new video of my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to summarize for you guys the book named The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. So this book is about the life after death of a man named Eddie. So he is a 85 years old man and he is a maintenance at a amusement park. So that park is the Ruby Pier. So his job is to check up on rides, to make sure that it is safe, the cables are on good for the citizens to enjoy a great time at the amusement park. So one day there's the dropper on the amusement park and there is a problem with the cable, and then he tries to warn the other people to get out of the area as fast as possible, but it is too late. The cable snapped and the cart from that ride fall down on Eddie, and luckily he saved a girl from dying, but he died. Sadly, he passed away because the cart just crushed him. So when he woke up, he is in a space that he didn't know, and then he heard voice talking. So he started to walk forward to that voice. So then he saw, a man, a blue man, like, the Avatar. Yeah, the blue man just like the Avatar. And he greeted Eddie and he said that you are now in heaven. So heaven, to most people think that heaven is just a place where you fly around, you see angels, you see a river, then you will swim in that river, and the scenery is peaceful. But heaven to people is not the same. Eddie's heaven is different from other people. So he met the blue man, and the blue man said that he will meet 4 other people in heaven. So the blue man is the first one, and the blue man said that his death is related to Eddie. So when Eddie was a little kid, he played with his ball, and his ball rolled down to the middle of the road. That is when the blue man ride his car forward and he barely missed Eddie, and that caused the blue man death. So why the blue man has blue skin? Because it is from the medicine that the doctor gave him, and that medicine, it had a side effect. When you took too much pills, it will turn your skin blue, and that is permanent. You can't get rid of that, and there's no cure. So the man is stuck with blue skin, and he was made fun of by everybody because of his blue skin. So his death is related to Eddie, and he said that the people in heaven will teach Eddie. Each one will have a lesson to teach Eddie, and they will reflect Eddie's life, and they will tell stories, secrets that Eddie didn't know. So when he met the first person, the blue man said that each and every person in heaven will be related to Eddie. Some he will easily recognize, and some will be strangers. So then the first man disappeared, and Eddie meets the second man. So the second man is his captain, and Eddie served as a soldier in World War II. So his captain is basically his leader, and they fight alongside with each other every day in the battle. And captain said that his death is also related to Eddie's. So when the crew drive their truck to the battle, they stop mid-road because there is a landmine. So the captain decided to go down and check on the landmine, but unfortunately the landmine exploded and it killed the captain. So the captain sacrificed himself for the whole crew. So that is why Eddie is still alive to this day, because if it weren't for the captain, then the crew will die. So the captain said that sometimes your sacrifice will bring some good and bad, and move forward to the third person. So the third person that Eddie meet in heaven is called Ruby. So she is a stranger that Eddie haven't met before. like Eddie haven't seen her a day in his life, and she is completely a stranger. So Ruby said that her name is identical for the one in the amusement park. So the park name is Ruby Pier, and it is named after Ruby. So she said that she has a very loving husband, and her death and her husband's death is also related to Eddie. So Eddie's father suffered from pneumonia. So pneumonia is basically, you have lungs problem and your lungs start to fail. So that is pneumonia. So Eddie's father suffered from pneumonia, and he spent most of the time in the hospital. And Eddie's family, his mom, his brother, his sister, spent a lot of money to pay the hospital fee for his father. And Ruby said that her husband is the person who lies next to his father. So in that room there are two patients. The one is Eddie's father and the other one is Ruby's husband. So her husband died because of the lack of money. She can't pay the hospital fee for her husband. So that's why her husband died. And Ruby, tells stories for Eddie about his father and the secret that his father has been hiding from him. So after hearing all those things, Ruby disappeared, and Eddie moved forward to meet the fourth person in heaven. So the fourth person, surprisingly, is his wife. So Eddie has a pretty loving wife, and they have, a pretty good life together, a very happy life. But then his wife sadly suffered from a tumor in her brain, and she died at the age of 47. And Eddie, started to remember all those good times that he spent with his wife. He started to remember their wedding and the first time they met each other. And Eddie is very grateful for what he has in life. And his wife, tells him stories about, the heaven. So when, for example, when a person died, according to this book, they will go to heaven and meet 5 other people, and the cycle just repeat, and so on and so on. And the final person that Eddie meets in heaven is actually a child. So this child, Eddie met her during the war. So in the war, Eddie's crew was captured by the enemy, and they were put in a coal mine. So they decided to break out of the coal mine and decided to burn it down. But when they burned the coal mine down, Eddie saw like a shadow, and it looked like a 4 or 5 year old girl. So Eddie tried to save that girl, but his teammate said that he needs to go because the enemy can be back in any second. So that girl is the 5th person Eddie meets in heaven. So her name is Tala, and she is like Filipino. And she said that Eddie literally burned her alive because Eddie's crew literally set the coal mine on fire, and that kills Tala. And Eddie didn't know that, and he felt pretty bad, and he started to apologize for Tala. But Tala soon, accept his apology, and Eddie started to fall in a river. And then he saw himself back at Ruby Pier and alongside with his wife. So yeah, that is the end of this book. And this book showed us a perspective of the afterlife. So back at the time in my channel, I've made a video about a book named The History of the Death. So I think that this book is another perspective of the afterlife. So this book said that in the afterlife you will meet 5 other people, and they will show us, they will reflect, your life, and they will tell you stories and all kind of stuff like that. And in the History of the Dead, that book said that the afterlife is just like this life. Like there are cities, there are people, and the activity is still the same, but it happened in a different matrix. So yeah, I think that this book is very good, and it shows us the perspective of the afterlife, and we can understand more about the afterlife. And I rate this book a 10 out of 10 because it is very good, and I totally recommend this book for you guys to read. So yeah, this is the end of this video. Please leave a like and a subscribe. Goodbye.